after the update, we will do part 1 of 2 of a Q&A. There's not much to update right now, but Alex has been going back and forth with insurance and the fertility clinic, trying to get codes and figure out what will be covered. It's a grueling process, but I'm thankful that he's willing to do it. So we decided to schedule my saline sonogram and our blood test. And then we're just gonna walk out on faith and hope that the rest just falls into place.
All right, so that's where we're at right now. Hopefully, like Steph said, that once we get the ball rolling, then it's gonna have like a snowball effect and just keep rolling and rolling, and before you know it, we'll have baby Penn. Hopefully. That's the hope for now. And so let's start with our part 1 of 2-part Q&A.
All right. So the first question that we are going to answer is, were you two Christians when you first met?
The short answer is yes.
Yes, we were.
I wasn't in church for a long part of my life, but I did surrender my life to Christ at the age of 19. And about a year later, my church was doing a conference with Stephanie's church, which is our church now. And we met at that conference and just kind of fell for each other there. At least I fell for her.
Yeah, we were just going to be friends. But that can be a whole nother vlog some other time, maybe. But he basically just answered the next question, which was, how did we meet?
Yep.
And that's how we met. All right, next question. What ways have you already seen God work in this whole situation, and what scares you the most about the upcoming journey?
How we've seen God so far through this journey is, well, for a while there, we felt like he was kind of absent. And that is no fault of his, it's a fault of ours. And just not looking for the joy as it's been put to us in the process. And so for 2 years, we struggled with it. And then we found an awesome support group. And through this support group, it inspired us to just kind of, step out on faith and try and figure it out from there. And I just reached out to my insurance company one day, and I thought we were covered. That's what they said, and that we were going to be having a certain amount covered after a deductible, which was amazing. We didn't think that would ever happen. We thought it was going to cost too much, so it was just like it wasn't an option for us. And so we were super excited and super surprised by it, as you saw in the last video. God showed up that way, and he led us back down the road that we thought we wouldn't go down.
That we had closed the door on.
Yeah, we didn't think that it was going to be a possibility. So once that happened, even though now we don't believe our insurance is going to cover as much as we thought, we would have never gone down that road had we not been wrongly informed. So God shows up in ways that you feel that are scary and kind of upset you, but yet God's still there in all those situations.
Okay, next question. How do you think going through with IVF will affect your marriage? You've already walked through what feels like hell together. Do you think it will bring you closer or put a lot of strain on your marriage, or both? Also, how do you handle the people who aren't supportive?
So that was a really long question. There's multiple parts to it, but we'll break it down. First, I believe it said, how is our marriage, or how is it going to be affected by the process? And it already has been affected.
Yeah.
I'd say, there's been its negative effects. Where days that we just, don't make the right choices in our marriage and aren't always happy to be around each other. But I think all in all, throughout this whole process, it has definitely blossomed and made us stronger.
It showed us how to really love each other.
Absolutely. It's more of that unconditional love. You start to see how you can be better for your spouse and lean on each other more and depend on each other more. So that's the way it's affected it already. What was the second part of that question?
Do we feel like it'll bring us closer or put a strain or a bigger strain?
So that goes back to that first part. I think there are the days where we are different, where we're apart, where we're definitely not on the same page.
And I think it will depend on our attitude every day that we wake up. If we say, hey, we're going to try to make today the best that it can be.
Yeah.
And let's show each other that we still love each other and we're not giving up.
But then there's the days where I leave my socks laying around and I feel like I'm the worst husband in the world. So that doesn't happen often, but it does affect. I mean, those
well, and
days.
I do think that this process is going to strain us some more. But anything, even just if we had a kid here and we were raising it, that would be straining on us. So it's worth it. We'll get through it.
It all just depends on how you wake up and how you feel that day. What your attitude is, what the outlook is. I mean, I'm not kidding you. If the sun's out, you're usually going to have a better day than when it's raining. And I think that it speaks figuratively and literally. So.
And then the last part of that question was, how do we handle the people that we don't feel have been supportive?
I don't want to say that no one's been directly not supportive, I should say. I think it's just there are people that are more supportive than others.
Right. We haven't had anyone come out and blatantly tell us, like, we do not support you. But we have noticed some people maybe that have backed off a little bit, or, like Alex said, there's people that have been more supportive.
They just go out of their way to make sure that you know that they're there for you. And so we're super thankful for the people that have been doing that. And we are still, thankful for the rest of the people that have, even if they don't feel as like they're the strongest fans right now, that no matter what, that we know that they're with us and that they do love us and show us some love. So our feelings aren't hurt by anything. So.
All right, next. What is some of the advice people have given throughout this journey so far? How long was it before either or both of you felt like you were ready to talk about it with others and each other?
Okay, first part.
And the advice is in like quotations. So
right.
I think
So
it means,
so.
Advice.
I don't want to compare this to like losing a loved one because everybody's pain is different. But for instance, when someone passes away in your family, some people always say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm with you," all that kind of stuff. So those are the kind of answers or advice that we've been getting. A lot of the biggest one's relax. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
And some of the people, back to like what I said in the other video, adopt. There's always adoption.
Right.
That doesn't help.
Those answers, like in the advice, like that they just don't know what to say.
Right. Some people, like most people, have a good heart and they're trying to be like supportive, but just think about before you say things.
Yeah, I mean
that's my advice for anyone out there.
It's not like we've had like bad advice. Like it's not like people have been saying, "Oh, well, you should split up" or "You should do that." So it's not been bad advice. It's just it's been. I could say it's ignorant advice. It's people that don't know what fully is going on or anything like that. So.
Or they've had no one that they've had to deal with that have walked through this journey, so they don't know.
So it's unknown. It's unknown.
Yeah. And then, how long was it before either or both of you felt like you were ready to talk about it with others and each other? And I will say from the get-go, we've been pretty open about it. Like,
we've definitely been open about it.
Everyone, I think, has known that after we found out that we couldn't have babies, it was pretty known. Because I didn't want people coming up asking, when are you guys going to start a family? And, all this other stuff. Or, are you next? Or... Because that was just, I didn't want to have to answer those questions. So I wanted to just put it out there for people to know. And we talked about it some in the first couple years, but we were on two completely different emotional spectrums and levels that we did talk about it, but it was just mainly all me at the time.
I'm a talker with life and talking to people and hanging out, but when it comes down to how I'm doing or how I'm feeling or anything that involves a little bit more of deeper emotion, I kind of check out. So I didn't really talk about it a whole lot for about 2 years. But
recently we've definitely, I think especially with the help of support group, it's
opened up a whole new world. And it really has. It's helped break down the wall that I built up to my emotions that I just never, I never let them out before. So we're working on it.
We are a work in progress.
Absolutely.
And this one is for you. It says, Alex, it seems common that the man and woman work through this differently. Do you have any advice for the men who are on this journey with their loved ones?
Have compassion. That's a huge thing. Is I wasn't very understanding for quite some time of what Stephanie was going through, and that's not good. That's not good for any couple. It's not good for communication. It's not good for intimacy. It's not a good thing to do. So the best thing that you can do is if your wife's having a rough day, be understanding. Ask her what you can do for her. Don't ask what's wrong. It's not always a good thing.
And let her work through those feelings and tell you all those feelings before you cut her off and say, well, don't feel like that, or you shouldn't feel like that, or, you've lost all hope. Like, just listen to her. And
these are all things that I did say. So I've been there. Don't do it.
Just listen to her and just tell her it's going to be okay. We're going to figure it out. It's okay you feel that way. You're allowed to feel this way. We will get through it.
Yeah, and at the same time, open yourself up to it. I mean, I really, like I said, I was closed off for a long time, and I just didn't really understand or have an open mind about it. I was just like, okay, going through my daily process without giving it much thought. But sometimes actually sit back and think about it and ponder it. That way you can be on the same level with your wife. And now, at the same time, if it's a male's issue like it is mine, it doesn't make you any less of a man. It doesn't make you any smaller or less of a provider. You may feel that way, but it's not true, and you just have to tell yourself that on a daily basis.
Okay, last question for part 1 of 2 of this Q&A. It says, they say hindsight is 20/20. So if you could have a do-over, knowing all that you know now and all the ways you've grown because of that, of what you've gone through, would you choose to have a baby the easy way and lose the strength/growth you've gained from the struggles you've had, or do things the same way they've gone so far?
So a good point to start out with this is this past month in our support group, we talked about faith and fertility. And I think that plays a big role into this is you either are going to run towards your faith or run away from your faith.
And I think we've done both.
In
at
a
least
problem
I have.
like this. And I think if you can run towards your faith, and that's so cool and it's so awesome that you can do that and grow stronger from it. And no doubt we've grown stronger from this situation in our lives. But I think we'd be lying to ourselves if we would have, or we could still say that we'd still choose that path. I think everyone
that's human would say the easy
way.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we want children. That's what our dream is for our lives right now. And so if we want children, I don't think that you would want to go through such hassle and strain and heartache to go through that and have a child. But that doesn't mean that it's not beneficial to our marriage. It's definitely beneficial. But hands down, we would have gone the easy way and started having kids as soon as we wanted to.
We'd probably be on 3 by now.
3? I mean, I'm
4.
26. 2 is probably about where we'd be at, which is okay. And hopefully, maybe we get 2 out of this process. Who knows?
Maybe that will be one of the questions in the next part.
Right.
We'll see. Thanks for watching. We'll see you
guys
guys next time. Bye.